So today's broadcast is, I'm talking about the best Halloween costumes for couples. And some of them can be adapted to group costumes as well. I like to think of myself as a creative guy, and I like to devote my brain power to thinking of fun things. And in this case, Halloween is a fun thing, and a couple's costume is always an interesting thing to me. It's a dynamic where two people get to dress up together, or sometimes even a group. And I got mad respect for group costumes. As you may or may not know, last year, Epic Mealtime and myself went as the X-Men. I was Professor X. Josh was Nightcrawler. Let me know was Gambit. Dave was Cyclops. Amir was Wolverine. And we got to collabo with some friends of ours. And that was last year's Halloween episode. It was pretty cool being the X-Men for Halloween. I was Professor X, so I got to sit all day. So when you're selecting a costume, you want to consider certain things. Do you want to be in a wig? Do you want to be wearing someone else on your costume? Do you, because that's the level I'm going at here, is I got some costumes that involve you wearing another person. Are your hands free? Is there a mouth hole? Are you going to have a problem pissing? Are you going to have a problem drinking? You got to consider these things. So when I was Professor X, I was wearing a suit and I sat down. So that was very smart. Whereas Dave was Cyclops. He wore like a one-piece suit. He had a hard time pissing. He had to get completely naked. And he couldn't see well with the Cyclops eye blasters on. Whereas Josh was Nightcrawler. He also had to get fully naked to piss. And he was painted blue. So, you got to weigh out your pros and cons when selecting a costume. Either way, I am approaching the idea of couples costumes. People that are trying to go in tandem with one another, where they want people to know that they are one costume together. So that's what I'm specializing right now on this broadcast. Now you got to understand something. It's pretty simple. I'm not saying go out there and buy a couple's costumes where you're getting like a bottle of Jack and a bottle of Coke and you guys go as Jack and Coke. It's pretty lame. If you put a little bit of effort into things, you could pull something out of your ass that's way better than what they're selling at the store, and it could be like 1/3 the price. So hear me out here. All right? One thing is also you want to step away from tasteless costumes, or something that may not be so cool next year. For example, if Ebola doesn't kill us all, do you want to commit to an Ebola costume this year? Because next year, when people are like, "Would you go as?" You're like, Ebola and a sexy nurse. So one of you go as Ebola and one of you go as a sexy nurse. I don't really know how you would dress up as Ebola just yet. I'll think about it. But next year, people will be like, oh, Ebola. Well, who fuck talks about Ebola anymore? It'd be like going as SARS. If you went as SARS, it wouldn't be so cool years later. So I'm going to jump right into it because I'm rambling on here. But here are some ideas that I think would be good as costumes. Now, they just got to go together. As long as costume A and costume B go together, then they can be a couple's costume. So as you could tell by the thumbnail for this broadcast, I chose Macho Man and Elizabeth. Because I know a lot of people like to go as wrestlers. A lot of people love Macho Man, Randy Savage, rest in peace, one love. If you go as Macho Man, now your date, all she has to do is wear a dress. She just needs to wear a nice, glamorous dress. She could dress up, be beautiful, and she's Elizabeth. Now, Macho Man Randy Savage, he used to always come to the ring with Elizabeth, and he would throw her into the enemy to evade getting beat up sometimes. This is what made Macho Man kind of like a bad guy for a bit there, was that he was a little, abusive to Elizabeth. Maybe this is a bad costume. No, not really. It's wrestling. It's all fake. We all know it's fake. So, but Macho Man Randy Savage and an Elizabeth costume will consist of dressing up like Macho Man Randy Savage, fringe, bandana, sunglasses. So now you have a reason to wear sunglasses inside. You can go and you could even get a spray tan. That'd be extra funny if you want to go all orange about it. Get yourself a wrestling belt from Toys R Us, and then have your date just dress up in a glamorous dress with long gloves, and you are Macho Man and Elizabeth. Simple as that. Another one. I know this might be a little weird, but a lot of people like to go as mermaids. Girls like to go as mermaids. Girls love Little Mermaid. Girls love Ariel. I think it's a phenomenal costume, and one that I had been considering myself this year is to go as King Triton and Ariel. King Triton is Ariel's father, so you get to have... It's basically like a daddy thing going on, you know. Some couples, you know, the girl calls the boyfriend daddy sometimes. You might think that's fucked up, or you might think that's hot. Whatever, to each their own. I think if you think it's hot, then it makes sense to be a King Triton and Ariel costume. It's a little weird. It's a little fucked up. It'll take people by surprise, and you know, they might get a little weirded out. But whatever. There's no sexuality there. It's, you know, they're fish. The bottom half is fish anyways, and fish don't have sex. Everyone knows that. Another costume idea I have is I find it very creative when the girl dresses up like a boy. So I've seen years before. I've seen Wayne from Wayne's World and Garth from Wayne's World, except they were, you know, one was a guy, one was a girl. And it worked out pretty well, you know, having a female dress up like Wayne or dress up like Garth. It's cool because it's kind of like breaking the sexual barriers there, you know, the gender barriers. You know, a guy can dress up like a girl. It's what makes Halloween fun, is you get to step out of your comfort zone and wear a dress, because we all know you like fucking wearing a dress. I bet you just wanted an excuse, and Halloween was your excuse, so you did it. So I think on that topic of dressing up like a guy, a girl dressing up like a guy, or a guy dressing up like a girl, I think a great couple's costume is Terminator and John Connor. Sarah Connor is the obvious one, but I think it'd be really cool / cute if one guy went as Terminator, wore a leather jacket, sunglasses, carried a shotgun, a little toy shotgun maybe, and the girl went as John Connor. So she had like little short hair thing, she had the military jacket, and you know, she had the knapsack, and she dressed like John Connor. Terminator John Connor couple's costume is pretty awesome because you're going beyond. You're going to that gender level where you're switching genders for the night. Now, I don't know how this one will work, but do you remember Ninja Turtles? Krang? Krang was the little brain, and he had this like big body that he would go inside of. It's really weird. It was like a big naked man and with purple underwear. I don't get it. I still don't get it. But if the guy were to dress up like the big naked purple man and wear purple underwear and green shoulder pads and have purple sunglasses, and the girl or guy would dress up like Krang by basically making themselves to look like a pink mushy brain, I mean, you might not be comfortable all night, but that's a fucking hilarious costume. I got nothing but respect for that costume. Another costume idea I have is, because remember I said you just need to make it go with everything. So it just needs to go with, like, whatever it goes with costume A, it has to go with costume B as well. So if costume A, if you want to go as a nerd, let's say your girlfriend is dead set on going as a nerd, you can go as a calculator. And now it's a couple's costume, you get it? So what I was saying is, a good couple's costume would be if one person went as a bacon strip and the other person went as everything. So literally stuck a million different things to them, because bacon goes with everything. You feel me? So one person will be a bacon and the other person will be everything, and that's a costume. Bacon and everything, because bacon goes with everything. I've been obsessed with this costume idea for a while now, and if I were in better shape, I would do it myself. This costume concept is basically Captain Planet, if you remember Captain Planet, and the Planeteers. So Captain Planet would go in underwear, basically, and paint their body teal, and they would paint their hair green, and they would put on a little, you know, red crest with the logo, the world logo there, with some red underwear. And the girl, or the guy, can go as a Planeteer. And now what's beautiful about this is if you have a bunch of lazy friends, you can get them all Planeteer costumes. You can go as Captain Planet, and they'll all be the Planeteers, and all they need to do is wear the t-shirt at that point, hang out with you, and now you guys have a badass group costume. And, you know, that Captain Planet one is simple. It's just temperature is a factor. If you live in Canada, Halloween can be pretty cold, so you might not want to be, you know, basically in your underwear the whole night, painted green. out at the club or on the streets or at a party or whatever. Something to consider: Captain Planet and the Planeteers. That is a costume I've always had respect for. This is a big one. It's another Ninja Turtles one, because I love Ninja Turtles. But as a girl, you can wear a yellow jumpsuit and go as April O'Neil. And if you're the type of girl that has 4 boyfriends, they can all go as Ninja Turtles. Or if you're going as a Ninja Turtle this year, then finding someone to be April O'Neil with you, and even if she had a camera crew, so now someone can roll around with April and have a camera, that in itself is a great couple's costume. You could break this down into many ones. You can go as April O'Neil, and then you can wear a hockey mask and go as Casey Jones. April O'Neil, Casey Jones. You can go as April O'Neil, and you can carry a camera and go as April O'Neil Channel 5 News Team, or whatever channel she is. So I think April O'Neil is a great costume as well. Lastly, I love this. I mean, listen, I'm 6'6". I'm a large dude, so I can carry a person in front of me. And if you can do that, then this costume is my favorite. I don't know if you've seen the original Total Recall. If you haven't, spoiler alert, George, the Resistance leader, who wants to take Quaid to Kuato. Well, Kuato is a mutant growing out of his stomach. So Kuato is growing out of his stomach. What I would do is I would be George. So I basically go as myself with like a leather jacket, and I open it up, and now I carry a person on my stomach, and they will be Kuato. I'll put a little. I mean, you can Google George/Kuato for reference of what that looks like. But if anyone is going as Kuato out there, that's a phenomenal couple costume. You just got to be a lot bigger than your girl if you're going to strap her to your stomach. Now it's also a problem for her because she's attached to your stomach the entire night. But she gets to be Kuato. And Kuato is mastermind leader of the Resistance. So she should appreciate maybe being your Kuato and growing out of your stomach. Even if being attached to you the whole night is kind of a shitty thing. Well, this is my short list of Halloween couples costumes. I mean, I think they're phenomenal. I don't think anyone out there is going as George/Kuato. I know there's going to be some Macho Men. I don't think there's going to be Macho Men featuring Elizabeth. And, if I missed any awesome couples costumes, just put a little comment in the comment section below. And, give me that little heart. Press that little heart, because that means a lot to me. And thanks for listening, guys. I'm going to head over to the comment section now, and I'm going to chat with whoever is all up in that shit. All right, bye.